We're here because Gloucester is the gateway to the Malvern Hills. It's one of the most beautiful places in Britain, with amazing vistas, historic hill climbs, beautiful bridges, and endless sweeping roads for us bikers to enjoy. So I'm going on a little trip, riding from Gloucester up to Great Malvern, and then after a detour to the Worcester Beacon, heading north to Shelsley Walsh to finish the day. Hey, so what are we going to ride through the Malvern Hills? Well, may I introduce you to the Husqvarna 901. The 901 shares a chassis and an engine with sister company KTM's 890 Dual Sport, but it's lighter and a little more user-friendly. Last year, Husqvarna won the worst name for a motorcycle in my view, and that name was the Svartpullen, hey? Now, this isn't actually called the Husqvarna 901, it is actually called the Norden. What's that about? Do you remember It'll Be Alright in the Night? The first guy who did it with a clipboard, he was called Dennis Norden. So from now on, I'm going to call this bike the Dennis. Now you may think that this industrial estate here in Gloucester is an inauspicious way to start our glorious trip, but you'd be wrong. Latte, anyone? In fact, this industrial estate is home to one of the Southwest's newest biker hangouts. This is the Oily Rag Cafe down near Gloucester, and I've got to tell you guys, I haven't been here for a while, but I must say it is adorned with some of my ex-gear, isn't it? Like, I remember selling that to you, Dave. What else?
Oil can we had off you about a month or so ago.
And the spout's fallen off.
Yeah,
okay,
still waiting for you to fix that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other stuff here.
Dave and his partner Lynn have only been here for 3 years, but already it's stuffed to the brim. Dave, this is outrageous. Now tell me, it's a BSA NVT, is it?
Yeah, it's a BSA MVT, but it has been chopped up a little bit. So me and my mate Adrian did this, and the brief of it was, let's have one night a week where we just go in the garage and just build something as easily, as cheaply as possible with bits we've got lying around,
well, mate,
and just have the odd beer and just a load of fun.
Lynn, is he ever out of his shed?
No.
Really, is that true?
Yeah, I'm a bike building widow, should we put it that way?
Do you ever visit the shed?
When I knock and ask for permission to come in.
Do you?
I try and get Lynn every now and again and try and get her on the lathe, but we haven't got quite that far yet.
No,
but we are trying, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, I love the finished product, and I'm interested, and I enjoy watching the process as he's doing it. Yeah. But I don't get my fingers dirty with it at the moment. That's his
well,
domain.
I mean, I have to say, Lynn, you know, I mean, I may be in the shed, but I'm basically drinking tea. So before Dave gets me on that lathe, time to head for the hills. Some of the Huskies that I've ridden in the past have been real brutes, but straight away I'm easing into my little Dennis. As you'd expect from the KTM engine, it's proper lively, really nice, really smooth 6-speed gearbox. Oh, I could do a lot of mileage on this. It's about 20 miles to Great Malvern. Me and Dennis are just getting into Great Malvern, my first proper pit stop. Hey, well, welcome to Malvern. How beautiful it is. Now, it's generally Victorian in architectural delights, mainly because the Victorians loved this place because they were quite partial to the odd glass of water. Today, Malvern water still sells by the gallon, but if you know where to look, you can even get some stuff for free. Hey look, spring water. Hang on, it says here, this drinking spout of pure Malvern water is piped directly from 3 springs. The water is thought to have come from so deep down that underground pressure forces it upwards, filtering it through the ancient Malvern stone of hills and all that kind of caper. Does that mean I should have a drinky? Blimey, I'm cured. If only. Malvern is a great place though for a wander and a gander, but time, as they say, waits for no man, even when he's on his coffee break. Hey look, just finishing off the coffee. Oh look, there's a bin over here. Right, now then, hills. The roads are getting better and better. I'm seeing more and more bikers, and I've even found time to pull over for a spot of lunch. So look, soup, right, tomato soup, yeah, and also I had 2 sausage rolls, Daisy. What's the favourite order, 2 sausage rolls and a soup?
No, you've made very poor decisions.
Have I? Why?
Yeah, rock cakes, cup of tea, warm you up.
But it's not, it's lunchtime. I can't have a rock cake now.
All right,
that's
then.
for tea, isn't
Bacon
it?
and sausage baps are usually the most popular.
Sally's Place is a great little cafe on the A449, next to British Camp, a huge Iron Age fort, which is well worth a visit.
If you come up here about 10 on a Sunday, you will not be able to move. This whole area will be covered in motorcycles.
Sadly, you can't ride up British Camp, but a little further along, you can go off-road and visit another great viewpoint. Tell you what, man, that was a lovely, lovely ride. Now then, we have arrived at the Worcestershire Beacon, right? The Worcestershire Beacon is up there, where you get the most incredible views. Look at it. The views are absolutely stunning atop this picnic table. On a clear day, you can see 13 counties of England, but even with a few Wordsworths in the way, it's wonderful. The moment has come. Time to put the Dennis through its paces, eh? First car. I'll have him now. She's so nimble, this bike. But wherever you point it, she goes. If you're a really hardcore dual sport rider, then you might find Dennis a bit of a lightweight, but on roads like this, it's perfect. Oh my God, get a glimpse through the trees of the view. It's stunning. Like the Augusta Brutale, the 901 comes with easy shift for clutch-free gear changing, as well as an adjustable suspension system. We're just arriving at Shelsley Walsh. Well, here we are, our final destination. How cool is this? Shelsley Walsh might sound like an estate agent's, but it's anything but. Now, would you believe this is the oldest motorsport venue to still hold motorsport events in the world? They've been racing cars and bikes up the Shelsley Walsh Hill Climb since 1905. The first drivers took just over a minute. Today's record holders are a lot faster. This is Matt Ryder powering his way up in 22.44 seconds this summer, making the second fastest ascent ever. But if you think that's fast, you want to check out the fastest estate car. Which is one David Finley in an Audi RS Avant. He did it in 32 seconds. But this is what I love, right? On a bicycle, the record's held by Richard Bustle. He did it in 156 seconds. But wait for it, running, David Beasley did it in 287 seconds. I could probably get to about 4 hours 20 if I was running. As commentator and racer Toby Moody tells me, it all started as a showcase.
Initially, it was really a way of the British motor manufacturers, particularly the Birmingham Midlands-based motoring manufacturers, to actually prove that their cars could actually climb a hill. In fact, the first car didn't get up the hill. because it was so steep, it conked out.
It's got gravity-fed carbs and all that kind of caper.
No,
What,
steep.
just-
It's
just
one, in,
steep?
it's 1 in 6.
Is it? Oh, well, I'm going to go up there in a minute. I've been reading out some of the records, right? And the one that amazes me, well, there's two. One is 22 seconds or whatever the record is, which must be phenomenal for a mile up that hill.
It's Formula 1 up a country lane.
Is that what it is?
It's just nuts. A Formula 1 car weighs 890 kilos.
Yeah.
The car that holds the record here at Shelsley Walsh weighs 410 kilos and has got 700 horsepower.
Oh my God. That's outrageous.
700 horsepower.
That's 7 times greater than my Husky, but I couldn't come here without giving it a go. Now look, it's not a mile, it's 1,000 yards, okay? Right, now by the time you get to the commentary box here, you should be doing 90 miles an hour. Easy, here we go. I am riding a bit of history. Now obviously there's no marshals, so I promised to just fuffle along. The fastest ascent by a motorbike was made in 2012 when Ben Wilkins roared up this hill on an Aprilia in 30.7 seconds. I don't think I'll be challenging him today. Here, now look, there's a very steep left-hander coming our way. I don't think there's any point in changing gear, but the first car that came up here in 1905 never made it. It's great to go around a blind corner and know there's nothing coming. Oh look, and you can see the end. I might just go a little quick here, but don't tell Toby. Yeah. There we go, finished. Oh, what an experience was that! It's 117 years since the first hill climb event, and year on year, records are still being broken. Long may it continue. Do you know what? That's really weird, isn't it? That little ride up there, that little trundle, I'll remember for the rest of my life. Just everything I love about motorsport, about heritage, everything combined together on a beautiful summer's evening, fuffling up that hill. Wow. Oh man, fantastic way to end the show.